It was an act of simple
He said, "Do
kindness,
not
the
open it."
kind his grandmother had always
I
taught him.
lasted 4
But for a young
years.
black boy on the wrong side of town, nothing is ever simple. The glint of the stranger's watch cost more than his family's rent. The gratitude was a simple nod. But then a sealed envelope pressed into his palm with a warning that would test his patience for a decade. Don't you open this until you're 21. He had no idea that this single moment, this mysterious reward for a changed tire, held a secret that would either destroy his future or rewrite it completely. What was in the envelope? And why did he have to wait? 17-year-old Marcus's world was defined by two things: the relentless summer heat and the 4-block radius he called home. His neighborhood wasn't a place of grand opportunities. It was a place of careful calculations. He knew which streets to walk down, which looks to avoid, and the precise weight of a stranger's suspicion. He lived with his mother and younger sister, in a small apartment that felt smaller with every missed bill. His mother's tired eyes after her double shifts were the engine of his quiet determination. He wasn't dreaming of castles. He was fighting for a foothold. The old sedan that needed. The tire change was his one responsibility, his means of getting to his after-school job at a grocery store 30 minutes away. It was there, on the side of a tree-lined street in a wealthier part of the city he rarely visited, that his world briefly intersected with another. He saw the expensive car first, its sleek design jarring against the curb. Then he saw the elderly man, impeccably dressed in a suit that seemed to defy the humidity, standing helplessly beside it. Every lesson whispered in his ear told him to keep driving. A black kid in a beat-up car, stopping next to a luxury vehicle in this neighborhood? It was a script written for misunderstanding, but another, louder voice, the one shaped by his mother's unwavering kindness, told him to stop. He pushed the fear down, pushed the statistics out of his mind, and pulled over. The act itself was simple. The man, Mr. Abernathy, was polite but distant, his thanks formal and brief. He watched Marcus work with a quiet, unreadable intensity that felt heavier than the lug nuts. The job was done in 10 minutes. As Marcus wiped his hands on his jeans, expecting a handshake or maybe a $20 bill, the man did something that made time stand still. He pulled a thick cream-colored envelope from his inner jacket pocket. His eyes, for the first time, held not just gratitude, but a profound, unsettling seriousness. He didn't offer it. He pressed it firmly into Marcus's palm, closing the boy's, fingers around it. The paper felt heavy, important. "You did a good thing today, son," he said, his voice low. "But don't you open this. Not until the day you turn 21. He turned and left, leaving Marcus standing on the hot asphalt, holding a secret that felt less like a reward and more like a test. The envelope became a ghost in Marcus's life. He hid it at the back of his closet, buried under old sweaters, but its presence was a constant low hum in the back of his mind. Was it money? A strange joke? A setup? The promise he made felt like a chain. For weeks, he jumped every time a police car cruised slowly past his building, half expecting them to ask about a stolen envelope reported by a wealthy man. The first test came quickly. 2 months after the encounter, his mother's old sedan finally gave out. The repair bill was a number that made her physically wilt. That night, Marcus stood in front of the closet, his hand trembling. The answer to their problem was right there, wrapped in thick, expensive paper. He could just peek. No one would ever know. But the man's words, "Don't you open this," echoed with a weight that felt heavier than desperation. He closed the closet door. He picked up more shifts, and they took the bus. The real injustice, the quiet, systemic kind, seeped in during his senior year. He was a good student, his grades a hard-fought battle. His guidance counselor, looking over his college applications, sighed. "State school is a solid, realistic choice for you, Marcus." He mentioned a prestigious scholarship, one for students demonstrating extraordinary perseverance. The counselor's smile was polite but empty. Your background? It's a very competitive pool. Let's focus on options within your reach. The words "your reach" felt like a ceiling being lowered onto his head. He thought of the envelope. Was this what it was for? To help him break through a ceiling someone else had built? The final crushing blow came the summer after graduation. His mother was laid off. The eviction notice followed like a predator. The walls of their small world were caving in. This wasn't a test of patience anymore. It was a fight for survival. Sitting on the floor of his near-empty room, the envelope felt less like a promise and more like a taunt. Why should he keep a promise to a stranger when his own family was being failed by every system that was supposed to be fair? With a resolve born of pure despair, he finally retrieved it. The paper was cool in his hands. This was it. This would pay the rent, buy them time. His fingers worked at the seal, his heart hammering against his ribs. He could almost feel the crisp bills inside, but just as the flap began to give way, he froze. A memory flashed, not of the millionaire, but of his own mother years ago, handing their last $20 to a homeless man. "We take care of people, Marcus," she had said, her own worries etched on her face. "Because it's right. Not because of what we get back." A tear of frustration and shame hit the envelope. This wasn't him. This desperation wasn't who she raised him to be. Was this the real test all along? Not his patience, but his character? To see if under pressure he would break, or if the kindness he'd shown that day was his true nature? He didn't open it. He shoved it into his backpack. The weight of it, now a moral anchor. He had no solution, no plan. He had only a sealed secret and a terrifying question. Had his integrity just saved his future, or had it just cost his family their home? The day they had to be out of the apartment was a brutal, sunny Tuesday. The world felt cruelly bright. With a final heavy look at their empty home, Marcus shouldered his backpack, the envelope inside feeling like a lead weight of failure. He walked, aimless, for blocks, until he found a deserted bench in a rundown park. He couldn't wait. Not one more day. The promise was a luxury for a life he didn't have. With trembling, grease-stained fingers, he finally tore the seal on the envelope he had carried for 4 years. There was no letter at first, just a single, crisp, official-looking check. His eyes, blurred with angry tears, scanned the amount. Then they scanned it again. His breath hitched. His heart stopped. It wasn't hundreds of dollars. It wasn't thousands. It was $75,000. The number didn't compute. It was abstract, fictional. It was a number from a movie, not from his life. He sat there, frozen, the paper trembling violently in his hand. The noise of the city faded into a distant hum. This changed everything. This erased everything. The eviction, the debt, the hopelessness. Beneath the check, his fingers found a folded piece of stationery. The handwriting was elegant, precise. "Son, you changed a tire for an old man. But I saw more that day. I saw the calculated risk you took to help someone who looked at you with suspicion. I saw the dignity in your work and the weight you carry in a world that judges you before you speak. This money isn't payment. It is an investment. An investment in a character the world tries to break, but never could. Use it to build the future you deserve. You've already earned it." Charles Abernathy, Marcus, looked up, the world coming back into focus, but forever changed. The money was a miracle. But the words were a revelation. The check was real. Mr. Abernathy's investment was more than financial. It was a restoration of faith. For Marcus, it was the key that unlocked a door he had been told was not for him. It paid the back rent, secured a new home for his family, and became the foundation for his college tuition. He chose to study social work, driven by a new mission, to see the potential in others that Mr. Abernathy had seen in him. But the true value wasn't in the dollar amount. It was in the note. Marcus kept it framed, a daily reminder that his character was his most valuable currency in a world that often tried to devalue it. The story isn't about a lucky break. It's about a profound correction. It highlights a painful truth that Marcus's kindness was a risk, his potential was overlooked by the system designed to nurture it, and his integrity was constantly tested by a society quick to presume the worst. Mr. Abernathy didn't just give him money. He acknowledged the invisible weight Marcus carried every day and offered a moment of breathtaking, life-altering grace. So we're left to wonder, how many other Marcuses are out there? How many young people of color full of the same dignity and determination are never seen by a Mr. Abernathy? How many are told to be realistic and have their dreams stifled by silent systemic barriers? This story is a testament to one boy's character, but it's also a mirror held up to our world. What does it reflect? And more importantly, what will you do to change the reflection? If this story touched you, don't just watch. Be part of the change. Hit subscribe and join our community of voices that matter.